Deaths in Glenmorach Manor, a fiction novel. Written by Shirley, read by Sir Lawrence Olivier. This audiobook was narrated using synthetic voice technology provided by 11 Labs. Chapter 21. John and I were utterly fascinated when we stumbled upon a cluster of mandrake plants growing in the overgrown garden of what appeared to be an abandoned house in a small, quiet village near Kilmarnock. The place had an eerie calm, broken now and then by the rustling ivy and the distant caw of a hidden crow. The air smelled of damp soil and a faint herbal sweetness, alive despite the decay all around. These strange legendary plants, native to the warm Mediterranean, felt oddly out of place in the cool, misty air of rural Scotland. But they clearly didn't end up there by chance. Stones were carefully arranged to form a low wall around the plants to trap warmth from the sun, and old glass panels acted like makeshift shields to protect the soil. A thin curl of steam even rose from the earth in the morning chill, giving the place an almost magical feel. Someone had gone to great lengths to ensure these mandrakes thrived in this hidden spot. "Bloody hell, John, do you see that plant?" I almost screamed, telling John. "That's mandrake, the poisonous plant that I've been searching for, the one that killed Benjamin Wallace." John asked me, his curiosity piqued. "Are you sure, mate? Then what should we do now? Should we search the house?" I told John, "It seems like someone is purposely growing that poisonous plant. They don't look wild to me." Not far from the mandrakes, I found another eerie sight, a patch of black nightshade, its dark, shiny berries glistening like ink drops against the soil. The plant was unmistakable and dangerous. I crouched closer, brushing aside moss to study it better. The nightshade was flourishing, too well for a plant that normally struggles without care. Someone was clearly tending to it, just like the mandrakes. It was no accident. Slate pieces shielded it from the wind. The soil was freshly turned, and a faint compost scent hung in the air. This wasn't casual gardening. It was intentional and meticulous. I felt my stomach turn. These plants, the mandrake and nightshade, were no strangers to me. They were both notorious in the most sinister of ways, used in ancient rituals, believed to have fatal properties when handled wrongly. They were the very same plants I had studied when looking into the death of Benjamin Wallace, and the poison found in a small bottle rolled under Robert's bed. They were known to be potent enough to take a life. My detective instincts kicked in. The whole scene felt steeped in secrecy. I glanced at John. He stayed silent, but the look in his eyes mirrored my unease. Whoever was growing these plants wasn't doing it for their beauty or botany. There was a darker reason behind it. I knew I'd have to return later that night, under cover of darkness, to find out exactly what. My heart raced, and I turned to John, who stood motionless, his face as pale as mine. "We have to get inside." My voice tight with the gravity of what we'd discovered. This house, this garden, it wasn't just an eerie coincidence. Someone had been here, and whoever it was had been involved in Benjamin's death. We pushed open the creaking wooden door, stepping into the house that had the strange smell of mildew and something sweeter, a very strong odor like a mixture of spices from intensely fragrant plants. My eyes scanned the dimly lit room as we stepped further inside. The dust had settled like a blanket over everything. The tables, the chairs, the old portraits on the walls. But what caught my attention was the small desk in the corner, papers scattered across the surface. Some partially burned, others left unfinished. My heart hammered as I sifted through them. And as I turned the last page, I froze. A series of cryptic notes about poison, rituals, and the use of mandrake roots and detailed instructions for making an undetectable poison from black nightshade. A chill ran through me. Someone had been planning carefully and methodically to poison another person, and the pieces fell into place with horrifying clarity. Whoever lived here had gone to great lengths to remain unseen, disguising the house as abandoned. This wasn't just a neglected home. It was a place built to hide secrets. I decided that we both would return that night after dark, where we could observe the house from a safe distance, away from prying eyes. It was the only way to uncover the truth without risking being discovered.